teams. Blaze, take it away.
Thank you so much, Chris. Las Vegas, we got another elimination matchup, and one of these squads gotta go home. And every time we watch these two teams play, they always put on a show. The first squad coming to the stage, ready to strike fast like lightning. Give it up for the Seattle Surge. We got Pretty Boy Brad, Big Mack, the Iceman Accuracy, and the man himself, Sid. Give it up for the Seattle Surge.
The boys are absolutely locked today. Did you see that celebration? They knocked OpTic out, and they're trying to knock out the #1 seed in Atlanta FaZe. Simp went off in that series, big clutches and a ton of damage, but the X factor has been Mack. His ceiling is so high, and he's peaking at the right time. Let's bring out their opponents, Blaze.
We'll see if Seattle's Cinderella story can continue, but their opponents ain't trying to have any of that, because these boys only know one thing, and they want to win. Get ready, because here comes Atlanta FaZe. Give it up for the man himself, Slasher, the Tiny Terrors, Simp, aBeZy, and the master himself, Cellium. You have Atlanta FaZe.
You know what? I blinked today and suddenly the crowd became a sea of red. For the first time in a little bit, we've heard the crowd cheer on Atlanta FaZe, who's missed out on winners finals and are trying to make the push to Sunday. And I'm looking at Cellium, the man who just had a warm-up versus a Boston Breach, dropping a 1.74. They can continue those numbers up against the Seattle Surge. Forcing their way to the grand finals, only one team makes it past this stage. Let's get it going, Blaze.
Let's get it going, Allie. Las Vegas, are you ready? One more time. Las Vegas, are you ready? Lando, study, let's go.
Let's go, Blaze. This is about to be a blast. Another loser semifinal match. We're going to find out who is going to be facing off against the New York boys later. But Jay, this has been a classic matchup throughout COD history, especially in the last 2 years. Atlanta FaZe, Seattle Surge. But throughout this year, man, Seattle have not really had the magic.
Yeah, they have not had the magic against Atlanta FaZe. Every single time they play against this squad, it's usually through the hard points and the search and destroys that they are usually finding the loss at the end of the series. But the way that Seattle Surge so far woke up in this tournament, man, we're talking about a Game 5 versus the LA Thieves. Yeah, Game 5 versus OpTic Texas. They needed something. Because every single event so far this year, they have had a heartbreaking loss. 3-0 by Vegas. The one before that, you gotta remember the Simp hip fire to make it happen. But Seattle Surge, they're trying to make that Cinderella story continue on.
Absolutely. We'll see exactly how they look to maybe reiterate their plan of attack as we take a look at the maps and modes. And Jay, for those that did watch that matchup take place between both of these teams on Thursday, a lot of repeat maps, but talk to me about why it's so different this time around.
It's a lot different this time around because it's Seattle Surge who are Team A. They don't want to go in map #1 on that embassy. They want to go to a fortress, but they just took down the best team in the map in OpTic Texas. Both of these squads played super aggressive in their matchups. Since we saw what he did versus Boston Breach, he starts off early. But the way that Mack so far has played today, he led the Surge in hardpoint KD 1.11. The SMGs are going to be fighting.
Jay, if there's one guy, I mean like 1 out of the 8 that you're looking at, is it Mack in this matchup?
No, I don't think it's Mack.
No,
I think it's accuracy, in my opinion. On the season, 7 times that they have played Atlanta FaZe, he's sitting at a 0.7. You have to be able to turn that around versus the top team in the game. Into the fortress, map #1 we go. Seattle Surge starting off on the bad side, but at least Mack already finds an opening through that archway. He's trying to flip those spawns.
Yeah, instantly trying to cause a bit of havoc already. Fortress, we know it to be dicey. It's been that way all season long, and really for both of our rosters, Jay, you've seen both of these teams have success. It feels like for the FaZe side, the aggressive players that they have with the Tiny Terrors, you'd expect that really solid slaying to be there a majority of the time, but it feels a little bit more 50-50. First half done over at P1, and so far it has been FaZe walking away with the majority of the time.
Yeah, Seattle just got to find a way out. Mack trying to hit these routes, but all of Atlanta FaZe are watching the angles. That's a clean 4 dead. 30 seconds uncontested at this P1, and now if you were Seattle Surge, you're playing from the back foot. You got to fight your way out to try to get towards that stage hill. And there's so many angles you have to check, but accuracy starts it off with the first on to aBeZy. Now they can apply the pressure through the front.
Yeah, first really player down, but he's almost acts as if he's a wave. aBeZy already dropped hot off of respawn. Surge now past that 50-yard line. We'll see if they can cause a bit of a dent. And if you're looking at the score, you can tell they absolutely need to find something. Mack gets traded out. Pred eventually falls in it, and now 2 more players remain here from Surge. Simp trying to go for the contest. Still alive, but only for a moment. At least causes a bit of a splash, but at the very least, Jay, FaZe are still locking up the time.
Yeah, FaZe are doing exactly what they did versus Boston. It was like 70-0, but this time in Seattle with at least 1 second. Finally, they get a couple fights, but none of them going in their favor. Slash is staying alive through the back end. Finds a 2-piece, and now you're forcing Seattle Surge early off that rotation towards next. No cruise missiles to work with. But aBeZy trying to find the timing in towards maps. He's gonna wait for his teammates to make a play. Accuracy does find one. You gotta take care of him. And now Accuracy is gonna spawn all the way on the opposite side of the map.
Yes, indeed. This is a hard point where traditionally you can lock up a ton of time. Surge, you have to get quite a bit of seconds over at P3, over at Fountain. An early break from FaZe very well could already settle how this map 1 is gonna go. Surge, you gotta be ready. And you gotta be focused. It's back-to-back headshots. Simp waits for a few reinforcements.
Yeah, they are holding down their angles, playing strong, not dropping in those situations. But now with aBeZy, at least finding that trade onto Mack. Atlanta FaZe currently have maps control. They get a couple close spawns. Seattle Surge at least have 2 players who are going to spawn out towards the middle of the map. So Atlanta FaZe are here. They just got to win the fights.
A little more difficult to do, especially when Surge are in the spots that they are. Simp finding himself on a 3. Absolutely a player that you have to look out here for Surge. Obviously put up the incredible Search Destroy performance versus OpTic. So far, he has been really heating up here at Champs. Trying to keep it going as we rotate, prepare for cannons. 1 player in the back is going to be Mack. Another story player here for the Surge franchise, but he gets dropped too. Off of Roto, Surge still working on the cruise, but FaZe again in possession of spawns and time.
Yeah, they got back in the game though. Great time off of that P3. They lose a couple fights off the rotation, so Atlanta FaZe are going to be the team set up early. But you currently have Simp on a 5 streak, playing it super patient, trying to earn this cruise missile while his teammates apply the pressure through middle. Mack and Pred combined for 2. They have more bodies on this side of the map. They're able to flip the spawns, but it's still Atlanta FaZe inside. You gotta get them out.
That's just what it feels like. There's a team kill, so at least FaZe are a tad low in numbers. Problem being is that Cell has taken down everybody. It's a worthy transaction in the end. Simp goes bye-bye, but 2 Surge players also fall in the process. Pred fighting tooth and nail just to get a look at this HP. And as he arrives finally, Jay, there's only 10 more points to go.
Yeah, it's only 10 seconds. You're going to play for this break-in. And Atlanta FaZe, they will take that. They're more focused on the next hill. You already have aBeZy playing in towards stables. It's going to be aggressive and take arch control, find the trade onto accuracy. But that's another rotation where Atlanta FaZe win. Fully set up already towards the blacksmith, getting some much-needed time, just growing this lead even more.
And Jay, the crazy thing about FaZe, I mean, we've talked about it all season. If this can be a roster that can walk away with hard points consistently, sky is the limit, right? Already considered the best S&D team in CDL history. If they can get those hard points unlocked, they're going to be in a wonderful position. Since the start of Major 5, they are 15-4, trying to extend it here versus one of the better hardpoint teams in the game in Seattle. But Jay, when I had a chance to chat with aBeZy, he told me the biggest reason for why they've finally been able to translate that hardpoint success, it's through the comms, it's through the small talk.
Oh, the communication has to be on point. We know that's very difficult sometimes to understand what Cellium is saying, but it doesn't even matter when he's got the beamer already on a 7 streak. He found himself in a 14 versus Boston Breach. Can he do it again? They're up by 80 points. Finally, Seattle Surge gets some breathing room. 3 dead. They are going to be able to flip those spawns. And now it's only aBeZy. Just try to play your life, get a couple kills. He does find one, but Seattle Surge now in towards the P1.
Yeah, and this is obviously, it feels like we're beating a dead horse here. No pun intended that we're on Fortress, but they got to walk away with some time. Like, it's got to be at P1. It's got to have to be a solid rotation. You see the arrows on Atlanta, obviously trying to keep P1 contested, but they ultimately are going to want that spawn. And as we get ready for stage here in about 30 seconds, Mack trying to arrive, trying to show up on the 3 spree now. Wonderful work there from McKenzie, continuing to take Atlanta players down in stride. He's got to be aware of the player toward the top, though. Simp will escape, still though with a surge with the seconds.
And they're able to take him down though. So you take care of Simp, the guy who's trying to make those spawns flip for Atlanta FaZe. Now you win the rotation over towards next, but just got to clutch up on these gunfights. It's still a 40-point game. Finally, Atlanta FaZe find that kill on towards P1, so they're going to apply the pressure up through the street. But you will take this if you are Seattle Surge. If you can hold this hill from the front and then chain it to that P3, you have the opportunity to take the lead.
Take a look at the aBeZy. Thankfully, he has been stunned, so information somewhat there.
That's a teammate, man.
Teammate. That's not what you love to see. Regardless of it, he still has a freebie. Cuts down accuracy.
Hello?
That's going to be 3 down. Last player alive is Pred. We'll see what he can accomplish. And the answer to that is not a whole lot. FaZe the quick break.
Oh, FaZe the quick break. And you saw what Slasher was trying to do. Just watch those double arches and at least win that rotation over towards next. But if you can get this remaining 30 seconds, who cares? As Simp finds the final 2. 2-time world champion. He's coming to play today. As now Atlanta FaZe are going to find themselves up by 80 points. Seattle Surge in the first rotation of hard points. This was the response for them to get back into this game. It has to be it again.
We'll see the attempt to do it. Accuracy finally in the fight. Last time we were in this situation, accuracy was cut down at P1, so the layers at least built up a little bit more for the Surge side. Let's go ahead and step aside and see if the comms are sounding in a big moment. Cell bringing in the cruise missile. Let's listen in with FaZe now.
One hill. He's on top of Chris. Top ring right corner. One hill should be dead. Hill should be dead. Yeah, okay. I'm matching just.
I'm blocking smoke. Hold map's heading.
Holding.
Top right. Top map's dead. One shot. Top map's one shot. It's cool stable.
I'm matching.
I have your help.
Just wait.
He's weak. I maps. I can't really get time.
Just kill.
Be right.
Gate in front.
I'm trying. No, bottom map. HG, last guy going front. Two front. They're both challenging. No, one time map. One time. One shot. I'm trying to get time. They're spawning on bottom right now. I spawned up maps. My spawn. Nice. I'm trying to go. I did top. Bottom art saw me. You went back into bottom art.
Spawning gate, guys.
Tell me top. Top rails, Lamar missing. They're spawning P1 or something. Lamar top art. One shot top rails. How many stage? He's absolutely top rails. He's still there. Stage on me. Nice, good shit.
I'm gonna shoot one shot.
I'm getting top one shot.
Hill.
They're spawning the back. Top he's top trees. Top trees weak. Top trees dead.
Hill.
They're spawning the back.
On
the hill backside, hill dead.
And FaZe communication might have just won them the game because they find that break on towards P3. And with them not allowing Seattle Surge to get any time off of that hill, they still find themselves up by 70 points.
Okay.
They're keeping it scrappy in towards the cannon. Slasher and aBeZy combined for 2. Time to get in the hill.
Time to hop inside of the objective and net yourself some success. You've done the hard work. As now they're nearing closer to that double century mark. Surge finally able to hop inside the HPJ, but it just feels like, I mean, it's just so difficult. Like, you have Cell going up, you have Simp and aBeZy putting up numbers like this. Slasher, he's just having a great time. 14 and 22, but 1 minute and 45 inside of the hard point. FaZe can do no wrong. Surge still hanging on, but it feels like this has been the story so far throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, though, they're just doing what they need to do correctly. Keeping them off the hill, trading efficiently, but that might be a moment where Seattle Surge can make something happen. A clean 4 dead, all of Atlanta FaZe spawning back Fountain. Just got to try to trap them as long as you can. There's still 35 seconds over towards the Blacksmith. Accuracy's throwing snakes on the box. Pred is still slaying in towards maps. But they are coming out on top in these trade fights. It's only aBeZy now. Seattle Surge only down 40 now.
And this is the thing with Surge, right? We've talked about it all season long. They just need a moment, whether it's been in situations at majors, even if it's one moment in a game, all they want is a window of opportunity. And oftentimes, these guys can find it, continuing to build upon some success. A big battle on the other side of the map, where the final 5 seconds are gonna go Surge's way. They also win a big 1v1 on the left side of the minimap, which means that they're gonna have spawns for next.
Oh my! Surge had brought this all the way back. They take care of the play that was trying to flip the spawns, and now it's only a 15-point difference. Atlanta FaZe know it's very difficult to try to fly out through double doors. We gotta push through the arches. We gotta find a couple openings, but Mack, he's still finding a couple kills on the map. We're gonna have a lead change. Seattle Surge have brought it all the way back.
You have got to be kidding me. Just moments ago, we were talking about how this one is nearly over. This one is already in the books. and Surge have come roaring back. Everybody's starting to go on a spree as time will remain vacant. Atlanta know exactly what they want to go for, Jay. They're still trying to fight for the spawns. Right now, they're going to have it. We continue to battle back and forth. It is a neck-and-neck game.
They found all the kills at the right time to at least lead to the break at P1, but there's a couple players from Seattle Surge off the rotation. It's going to fall into aggresy and Mack's hands. Both playing corners. Don't want to die first, and it's going to be Mack to start off the first engagement. You have to focus on where Slasher is in towards our. Accuracy takes care of him. Seattle Surge are now able to flip those spawns. It's still a 5-point difference. They're going to keep it scrappy. It might end here.
And now they have the ability to sit back, relax, and allow for FaZe to come to you. How can they peel back the layers? Simp putting away a few. The Aussie going to work, but unfortunately, his teammates dropped. His teammates have fallen. Pred, the only one back here, also gets erased. Back and forth we go. It's FaZe who do have the lead.
Lead change again. Atlanta FaZe are in. The contest is going back and forth. Huge one-on-one. Simp is able to win it, but Atlanta FaZe know they cannot win it there. Let's chalk that time. Let's hit that rotation. Everybody stack on this side of the map.
Wait a second. I don't believe they got the tick. This should not be.
No, they don't.
This should not be the case. This should not happen. FaZe are prepared, and Surge will hop off the point. Aware of such, it's got to be a Surge break or a FaZe hold. Here we go. Simp falls in the back.
They find that kill onto Simp. Does he get the close one towards his teammates? Is he find the timing? No, he gets the pinch one. But aBeZy makes it happen. He finds 3, shuts down a push. Atlanta FaZe take the lead right on back.
Oh, it's too easy for aBeZy. 5 more points to go, and it's FaZe's game. aBeZy continuing to go off, and there it is.
Seattle started to find some life. They gave it their best shot. Everybody going on sprees. But it comes down to P3. It comes down to aBeZy going off. Finishes 36 and 27 as Atlanta grab yet another crucial hardpoint victory.
Such a nail bite. Game number 1. Atlanta FaZe are able to make the plays happen. They knew that Seattle Surge could not win over towards that P2. They hit the rotation, and even with Simp being the only player to spawn out, Seattle Surge take him down, but they have not taken care of aBeZy. He's been making too many plays the entirety of the year, and he makes another one for Atlanta FaZe to secure the map number 1. But a 9-point difference with Seattle Surge winning a rotation over towards P3. That just can't be as easily broken right there, because that would have been the game difference.
Yeah.
Seattle Surge are a lot closer at the very end of this one if they get some time off of that P3.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to the fact that if you're Atlanta FaZe, thankfully you have a lot of time to work with, a big advantage at the least. And when it comes down to those spawns as well, let's go and take a look at our scuff play of the game. Jay, what'd you see here at the end?
Yeah, so right here you see Simp. He's the guy that spawns out, but Simp gets the read, wins the one-on-one. Cellium finds a kill through top map, but then it all falls into the hands of aBeZy. You are blocking the spawn. Simp is still not going to be here with his teammate, and he shuts down 3 players. Once he does that, you already have Simp ready for the pinch, watching the cross through the middle of the map. It's only a matter of moments until Atlanta FaZe are able to walk away with map 1.
Oh my goodness, that would have absolutely brought the house down. Surge trying to bring through that magic, as we know, man, even going back to like Cold War, whatever it was, when we had the Nikki D curse. Surge, we're trying to dig deep, and they lose by 9 points. Sim a little frustrated as now we get ready for some Surge.
And the crazy thing is, every time Seattle Surge have beaten Atlanta FaZe, it usually comes in a map 1 victory. When you take a map 1 loss like that, you're going to be beating yourself up, because there's so many little things you're going to change to get those 9 points and take the victory. But Atlanta FaZe take map number 1. Now they're going into a map number 2 where they are the best team on Embassy Search and Destroy. They played this squad already, and they beat them. They beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, they absolutely did. For Atlanta FaZe, you got to be feeling good. We're going to take a look at their Monster Energy pregame coming into this series for FaZe. LSC low control is out. Got to make the most of that Game 3 on Hotel. There you can see the records for Surge. Has not been great lately. And then we're bringing it up, right? Continue to dominate here on Embassy Search Destroy. 14-3 on the year. 3 of those dubs come versus the team on the other side of the stage. And then finally, Cell just continued to put up crazy numbers, Jay. Like, it's already one thing to see numbers like this in general. But at COD Champs, at this stage,
that's the crazy.
We've never seen anything like this.
Nah, this guy is unbelievable. Man, I'm so happy I retired when I did, because if I had to play against this guy, I would be losing my damn mind. Putting my head through the monitor, it's very difficult when you're going up against this guy. He just dropped a 1.7 last series. That's basically 2 players. He's unreal.
And he already had a great, great head of hair. Now he's got some awesome facial hair. You just can't beat MC.
Down.
He absolutely is. He also has a wonderful name. MacArthur, actually, his first name, believe it or not.
What a guy.
Absolutely lovely. Let's go and talk about our Monster Energy pregame. Now for Seattle Surge. Keep up the strong search destroy against the best team in the game. It's going to be difficult to do that, but they did look phenomenal versus OpTic Texas and those 2 search destroys. That finally, accuracy cannot be a free kill on the map. There you can see the numbers. Not great versus Atlanta recently, not great versus Atlanta all season long.
Yeah, he started off slow in that map, number 1, but he started to kick up, and that's when you see Seattle Surge start to rally some points together to get themselves back into this game. But this search and destroy is so crucial for them. You don't want to go down 0-2. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you're smiling cheek to cheek because you have your best search and destroy map. And one thing that they did well last time was just throw so many different looks at Seattle Surge. First push on our attacking round. Instant plant towards A. Second time, we stack it towards PD, play for those flanks. Third time, you go towards B. So they had Seattle Surge scattered every single time on defense. They could not get a read on what they were trying to do.
And the problem, Jay, all season long for Seattle, I know we're talking about recency, but all season we talked about the record Surge, their struggles versus Atlanta. Pred and S&D all year versus FaZe, 1.3 plus.
How?
Accuracy sits at around a 0.4,
okay.
Mack at a 0.6. So as you can see, it's not going to be a one-man game, especially at this stage. It's got to be a full team effort, and the man we're talking about just applied the first blood.
Yeah, accuracy gets that first kill on the slasher. Now you get the info when the pressure's coming in. Mack with the SMG wins that one-on-one, but Simp there for the trade. Simp makes it happen. It's now a 2v2, but accuracy lines him up. All left up to Cellium in the 1v2.
All left up to MC, the final boss already tagged up. 17 HP, still a lot of time to work with on the clock. Problem being is that bomb is not going to be in the greatest spot here for Cellium, but an early 1v2, that would surely set the tone here on aBeZy. But he's got to get a move on.
Yeah, he knows at least accuracy loves to play over towards these vans. Has no tax in his back pocket to play for that information. But accuracy and Simp, they're setting up a crossfire. Simp puts down shots. Accuracy's time to strike. You jump on top of the van. You shut down that early B push. In round number 1, as accuracy finds 2, Simp eventually finds the final. That's exactly how you want to start off. Slow and steady wins the race. And then just using your teamwork to close out these rounds. Seattle Surge, 1-0.
Starting off well, Seattle Surge technically have won their last 3 search destroys. Obviously, as we said, it's been the key to success in their last 2 dubs here so far at Champs. They win that Game 5 versus Thieves, take both versus OpTic Texas. Just feels like come Champs time, man. It's all about the consistency. How good are you really across the board? Surge losing really their solid map all season long, their solid game under the hard point, and now they need to answer here in some S&D. Mack and Pred with a quick 2-piece off the start.
Those are some easy reads. You obviously played Atlanta FaZe. You know what they like to do. Take mid-map pressure. And that already now leads to Cellium into 1v4. Bomb is going to get planted. Cellium gets taken care of. And Seattle Surge ready for the aggression up through mid. Mack starts it off by finding the nade, but Pred does what he does, being the island player, putting himself in a nice little angle to find the second and then force a couple players from Atlanta FaZe to try to focus on him. But at that point, it's too late. Seattle Surge flawless on the round, 2-0.
And it's funny, that looks exactly like an Atlanta FaZe aBeZy attack. Like, trying to get the bomb down as soon as possible. Accuracy playing the cell role. I think it was Pred on the flank playing the aBeZy role. So, as we said for Atlanta, I mean, a lot of teams watching their strats, and really if you're Seattle, you've got a ton of VOD on these guys, especially the matchup that you played against them on Thursday. But currently 2-0 to the good right now for Seattle. We'll see if they can continue to build upon it as Atlanta takes a whack at another attack.
And now this is what Pred does. Pred is going to be able to get the timing, wins the first gunfight onto Cellium. Now puts them in the 4v3 scenario. Atlanta FaZe are great. #1 team in the 3v4 win percentage. But Pred is just going to get out with his life. Not going to go for the one-on-one chow. He's going to force Atlanta FaZe to get this bomb down.
Oh, Pred, sliver of HP, has dodged the weaponry of Slasher and Simp so far throughout this game. Mack able to tag up yet another. Wonderful work here from Surge to really find these angles, find these quick snaps, and from there, getting the man count in their favor. It is Slasher quickly left in a 1v4.
1v4, Mr. Thanos has yet to find a kill on the map. That bomb is gonna be down towards triple Vans. Not enough time. There's no way in hell he's gonna be able to clutch up this round. Seattle Surge are gonna be able to go up 3-0. They trap him in towards top paper. And all the mid-round adjustments, all the stuff that they saw the first time that they played aBeZy, they are making it right. Playing nice and slow on their defenses, using teamwork on full display. That now leads to 3-0 in the S&D.
If there's one thing that you could point out that is dramatically different from Thursday to now, what is it right now for Surge?
It's just how patient they are playing. You have Pred, who's always going to do what he does. Tries to be aggressive. He's the guy that gets the info. But once they get that first kill, everyone is backing down. They're playing close to each other because you know when you're playing Atlanta FaZe, especially when you're challenging one guy, a second guy is definitely going to turn that corner. You're trading a lot more efficient. That's what leading to success. But back to the attack they go. Simp is going to switch it on up. I feel like I haven't seen this guy use a sniper all year long.
It's a lovely sight to see. He has put up plenty of highlights with the sniper in Champs previously. A lot of people remember that Black Ops 4 performance, and right now they need him to put up a highlight reel. Not able to connect onto accuracy. Maybe shrapnel is all that's gonna hit Mr. aBeZy. Big gunfights toward the back, and it's Simp who walks away with it, and it's the pistol that does it.
Such an insane win with that pistol, at least make it a 3v3. Now they might run right into him. He lines up Simp, finds his second on the round. He knows where the pressure's coming in. Can he find any more?
Oh, he spots Pred to the top. Oh, my word. That snipe hits. It's a totally different game. But now, Slasher and Cell in the 2v1. But on the other side, it is the Iceman. A chance to go up 4-0. And what does he elect to do? Get that bomb down as soon as possible.
Just gonna allow him to get it down for free. Cellium and Slasher are just gonna wait for each other to hold hands and go for the double chow, but he's got aBeZy has Daddy. He might make a play happen.
Cell has no idea that he's here. Door closes. Accuracy with info. Time continues to tick. And in the back of his mind, he's got to be wondering if somebody is on that defuse. Gets the info that he needs. Goes for the chow. Cuts away one. No, he can't find the second. MC with the snap. It felt like accuracy did everything right. From the patient play to the trigger discipline. But cannot connect on Cell.
He played that round to perfection. You use that dead silence, you reposition towards top. As we take a look at the replay from Simp, the snap onto Simp. But if you're accuracy, you're beating yourself up after that one. You get the freebie on the Slasher, you spot Cellium. You probably just want to play your life in that scenario. There's only 20 seconds left. Cellium is going to commit towards finding that kill. When you give it to him for free, cost your team that round. Atlanta FaZe get one on the board, back on the attack. Slasher this time around with the first blood.
Goodness sake, Simp, he's going for everything right now. Spots a lovely head of hair on Simp. Tries to give him a haircut on the outside. Accuracy and Slasher once more battle. The two veterans on either side here for both Seattle and Atlanta will save their duel for a later stage of the round potentially.
Pred is doing exactly what he does again. Take him in map control, but is he going to be looking at the right angle? You have Simp who's throwing those snakes through top. AC, make sure that no one pushes up through tennis. The time is still starting to tick. The movement is on point. The fans do not love it. aBeZy eventually finds accuracy. It's now a 4v2.
Oh, and Pred with plenty of information. Cannot find the second. Simp falls as well. Atlanta finally able to rebound and will get their second round. Wow, all of it came off of that first blood, their first one of the game.
And everybody in this round, even in the final kill cam, everyone's hitting the salsa. That's good movement right there to secure the round if you are Atlanta FaZe. When you get the first blood with the nade, you play it super patient to see if any players from Seattle Surge are gonna go on that flank, but that's now 2 rounds in a row for Atlanta. Back to the defense they go. If you are Seattle Surge, just keep doing exactly what you do, take tennis control, and bring the fight to them.
Well, it's nades tossed out early over at the B site, but really not a whole lot. Take a look at the bottom side of the map. We've got 4, if not 5 players all around a very specific part of the map, and Pred sitting on the other side of the door. Little does he know the tiny tears are right here.
And it's Accuracy who's gonna give him the info. He at least is able to spot him. Pred does not get the timing. He doesn't commit towards the chow. And at the same time, Mack is getting that bomb down towards B. So it's gonna be a 4v4 retake. You already have the tiny terrors up to the little mat. Oh, Mack takes care of both. Insta 4v2.
And there goes Slasher. Last one up is gonna be MC for a 1v4, 30 seconds on the clock, trying to pre-fire everything. And how about the comms? How about the composure? They're from Seattle, Jay. You called it perfectly. Accuracy's giving the calls to Pred. Pred trying to give the calls over to Mack. Mack plants the bomb down and knows exactly where Simp and aBeZy are. They gotta be going through the mid lane.
Yeah, that's a Mr. Do-It-All round right there out of Mack. You get the bomb down, you're already thinking about that objective, but when you come off of that site and take down both of the tiny terrorists, the round is instantly gonna go in your favor. As Seattle Surge are able to stop the bleeding, now go up 4-2, back on the defensive side, and so far what they've been great at is shutting down that aggressive push over towards B. Atlanta FaZe usually find a lot of success, but with the way that Seattle Surge are playing it, towards top AC through back alley, you're forcing Atlanta FaZe to make different decisions.
And again, Pred pushed up and ready for whenever Atlanta wants to try to make a bit of a move. And if they try to go for that bomb rotation, he is going to be aware of it. Currently, all 8 players just looking for a pick, and that is really the goal right now for Atlanta, not the aggressive play over toward that B site. But again, we focus our attention toward the bottom side. Here's Pred.
He plays it super patient. He finds that kill, and Accuracy does put down a couple shots onto Simp. So he tries to go for the pre-fire, but nothing connects. Cellium does take down Mack, so now Atlanta FaZe have the opportunity to get this bomb down. Your only focus is on where is Pred, because he's already behind enemy lines.
You can see all the Atlanta arrows instantly trying to focus, figure out where he is. Accuracy falls in the meantime, a current 2v3. Right now, the sophomores of Seattle trying to come away with the clutch. Civ out of the play, and now it is all on to Pred. 15 seconds on the clock. Atlanta have got to make a move, and the problem for the Aussie is that they are nowhere near the site.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to clutch around if they went towards B, but a 3v1 with the bomb planted towards A. It's a tall task to try to find. First gunfight against Cellium. Puts down a couple shots, just gets out with his life. Now with only 35 seconds left, Pred has to make something happen. It's impossible. Atlanta FaZe work their way around the map. Cellium starts it off with that first kill, but once it turns into a 3v3, you see aBeZy and Simp super aggressive in towards orange. They find that player and then hit that rotation beautifully over towards the A site. Secure the round, now down 4-3.
Something interesting, Jay, 4-3. Right now, Atlanta only have 1 first blood to their name. So they're down by 1 round. They've got 3 to their name, only 1 first blood. As we talk about Pred, aggressive to start, ends up finding the first one, but FaZe still in this game. Despite being in 3v4s pretty much every single time. You imagine if they can start to get those early engagements, their direction, how differently things could go. And bingo, there it is. aBeZy trying to hit the snap. Accuracy lying in wait, but it's Pred to the rescue.
Now it's all on Pred and Accuracy. Try to keep it alive for their team, and they still think that Pred is close, but he's already making moves on the map. Puts himself behind gas station. He's slowly gonna try to work this pinch. Simp thinks he's getting a read. But can he find a timing? It's gonna fall into Slasher.
So you've got Accuracy with eyes on B. You've got Pred with eyes on A. And Atlanta FaZe may just fend to kind of hold on out. There is Pred. Strikes. Now his 10th kill of the game. Goes for the chow. Oh my goodness, escapes with his life, but only for a moment. Runs into the blender. In the meantime, Accuracy with info will get that bomb down. Another 1v2 for the Iceman. Can he get revenge this time?
Just gotta play it a little bit different. Both the players from Atlanta FaZe are gonna invest that dead silence just in case Accuracy is gonna be playing close. But he's thinking about the clutch. How much time can he get off of this clock? It's already 30 seconds left. He puts down the shots. Position now, no. It's time for Simp to just be the aggressor. Try to take him down, but Accuracy with his repositioning is still not on the site.
Oh, he's thinking right now. Accuracy thought about going top PD, and I don't know, Jay, maybe teammates making him think maybe just his own intuition, assuming that maybe Cell and Co are already on the bomb already.
Nah, that's the thing. Right there in that situation where there's 35 seconds left, you put down a couple bullets, now your position's known. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you're most likely expecting him to go top window. That's usually what teams like to do. But when you make the heads-up play to go back, if he wins that one-on-one gunfight versus Cellium, all you have to do is get out with your life again. But Atlanta FaZe, they weren't going to get caught slipping. They knew exactly what he was going to do, and Cellium guns him again to put him on a 5 streak. They've been able to tie this search and destroy up. Seattle Surge, they need an answer now.
They definitely do. Early nades, tacticals, utility tossed. Creators created here on aBeZy, and a dive for style. Here from Mr. aBeZy. Scary territory over at this B site. Trying to lay the objective down. Meanwhile, the enemy just sits above you. Looking to plant it down early, typical Atlanta stuff.
And this is perfect from Atlanta. They wait for those tacks to come in. Seattle Surge think that there's no one planning the site, but after those blow up, aBeZy puts it down, and now you're forcing Seattle Surge to retake. Simp starts it off with the first blood. You have aBeZy going on the flank, but by the time he even gets there, he's probably going to be the only guy alive. 4v2 now.
A lot of work to do still if you are Seattle. Accuracy. First look at the bomb site. Spots Simp, spots aBeZy, and he's flanked. Simp goes bye-bye. Atlanta FaZe answer again, now up 5-4.
They went back to old reliable. You put the bomb in the hands of aBeZy. You know he loves to jump out of top aBeZy. Once he takes sign control, you wait for those tacks to come in, you get the bomb down, you force them to retake, which is very difficult to do. Now it allows Atlanta FaZe to be put at game point, and Cellium does find a kill on the round, so he has a cruise missile to work with.
Odds stacked against them. But can Surge at least force a round 11? You do not want to go down 2-0 versus this FaZe team who are hungry for blood. And here comes the cruise missile over the top. MC already looking for info, but take a look at Pred, the number 4 arrow.
And this is where they solo him out. They know exactly where he is in towards kitchen. Slash is going to try to hold him in this position. Cellium, after he finishes the cruise missile, just trying to not let Pred find the timing. But at the same time, across the mini-map, Simp invested that dead silence. He's already behind enemy lines. He's working his way up the steps, but his dead silence runs out at the wrong time.
Oh, but he still kills Simp. Mack at least there for the trade. So you had 2 players on opposite sides of the map. The FaZe player taken down, Pred still alive. Atlanta will leave him for now, but it's a question of what does Surge elect to do in this moment. Dead silence invested now for Slasher. He could be the playmaker.
It's going to be the bomb down towards A. It's going to be free for Seattle Surge to extend this clock. 45 seconds now in the 3v3. Slasher pops that dead silence. Slowly going to edge his way up through back alley. Unfortunately, does not find a timing, but aBeZy finds accuracy. 3v2.
And Slasher getting so much info right now for the team. It's Mack. It's Pred. Pred wins the fight up close. Now a 2v2. And Slasher wins this one. It's down to 1v1. Mack versus Slasher. And now it's time for the Little Goat to go to work. Oh my word. He does not spot Mack in mid-map, trying to play the timing. Here comes Mackenzie around the corner. Slasher is ready for it. All Mack has to do is play the time, and he will. Round 11, here we come.
Seattle Surge get the investment out of Cellium with the cruise missile. They knew the positioning of Pred, but he stays alive so long to give the rotation to his teammates. Get the bomb down towards A. Now force this round 11. With only 20 seconds left, Mack was able to spot Slasher in that situation. You throw a couple shoulders, you know that he's not on bomb, you just play your life so you can make it to the round 11. This is such a crucial moment for both of these teams. Seattle Surge on the attack. Round 11, here we go.
We've seen a round 11 on aBeZy between these teams before. We've seen some craziness involving both Simp and Pred. Surge, looking for revenge, have yet to beat Atlanta on this map here on the year. Can they answer back and make this a 1-to-1 series? Early shots exchanged as Surge wait for their opportunity, and Pred, he'll be out of the fight off the rip.
That's the biggest kill right there to take down Pred. He's the playmaker for Seattle Surge, but accuracy takes down Simp. And accuracy is able to find 2 would look to be very difficult to push up the street side. He makes it happen. Seattle Surge in the advantage are gonna get this bomb down.
MC might find the timing. Accuracy over the top. He's gotta know that plane is obviously down, and there you go. Information found. MC tags up Mack, but McKenzie will escape into safety as he rocks dead silence. Pressure now onto aBeZy's shoulders as he has to make the play. McKenzie and Accuracy together will find another. And it's all on to Cell. A 1v3. There he goes.
And Accuracy does it all in that round 11. He finds 4 kills, pushing up through the street, earns himself the ace. And Seattle Surge answer back in the search and destroy. It was a 6-2 victory last time around for Atlanta FaZe, but they did their homework. They were prepared for every situation that was gonna happen, and they tied the series up at 1. That was an insane search and destroy, but Seattle Surge, they got the Iceman for a reason. He gets it done.
Okay, and we talked about it. How great FaZe has been versus Surge all season in S&D, on Embassy Search and Destroy. How impactful Pred has been. He dies, first player out of our 8 in the lobby. He's out of the fight. And who does it come down to? Accuracy. The guy who had a 0.4 S&D KD versus Atlanta all season turns that 0.4 into 4 kills. Unbelievable. Hear from Surge as they wield their wands again. The Magic Men here of the CDL have answered on Embassy. And now we've got ourselves a 1-1 series with Hotel Control up next.
Man, I don't know how this next map is gonna go.
I have no idea.
Saw Seattle Surge, what are they, on like 7-loss streak?
Something like that.
Atlanta FaZe, they don't even play the damn map? I don't know. Map 3 is gonna be lit.
I'll be honest though, after that map 2, everybody's thinking, okay, surely FaZe are gonna go up 2-0. Feels like stats are tossed out of the window, but ladies and gentlemen, champs will continue. This series has already been wild, we know it. Atlanta versus Surge typically is a banger, and Seattle have a lot to prove right now. Answer in round 11, can they build upon it? We'll see who can take the swing mode right after this.
Second-year legend. The Rookie of the Year from 2022 is joining us for Pred's Memory Lane. And Pred, today we're taking a look at your best moments throughout your career and talking a little bit about the matches coming up this week. How we feeling though right now? You excited?
Oh man, I'm excited, man. I haven't really had a chance to sit back and reflect on my time in the league, so I'm excited, man.
Your initial year competing in Challengers, 18 straight cups over in ANZ, one of the best players to ever come out of that region. Then you come to America, and in the CDL, you earn Rookie of the Year honors in 2022. You have had a ridiculous blast to the top here. What has this ride been like for you early on?
It's been a roller coaster, man. You know, there's been lots of ups and downs. My team's success has been, we won a tournament, we've come last, we've, had some sicknesses at tournaments, we've had some, some crazy events happen.
We know your first round matchup coming into champs, and you'll be taking on Atlanta FaZe, a team that you have quite a bit of history against, and we saw it not just this year, this goes all the way back to last year, 2022, Minnesota. You had to play the team, game 5, round 11. Talk to me about that first loss. What was it like matching up against the Tiny Terrors on the main stage?
My first matchup was actually at the kickoff when we beat them. That was my second ever pro LAN match was against FaZe. We beat them at the kickoff. Our first ever major tournament matchup was Major 2. We lost that round 11. That actual series, Matt got really sick where we had to end the map. He was very sick, very unfortunate. So that series was crazy, and the fact that it went to round 11, we were up 5-4 and we lost, I mean, it was just a heartbreaker.
And that series continued when we saw you guys face off again in Toronto. This time, it was the W for the grand final. What was it like winning your first tournament in the CDL?
That was probably one of the greatest moments of my life, honestly.
They've done it! For the first time time in CDL history, Seattle Surge are your champions.
Just getting to hold that trophy up with my team. We've worked so hard, we've been through so much, and getting to actually be that last team standing on that stage and holding that trophy and just knowing that you won the tournament was one of the best feelings in the world.
When it came to COD Champs, you ended up finishing third as FaZe went into the grand finals. Tell me about those matchups.
Honestly, what went wrong was just our S&D. I mean, we were 9-1 in hardpoint at Champs. We were just dominating in hardpoint. And then S&D was really letting us down. You know, if we just win that one round, who knows, we could be in the grand final. So it's just how COD is, man.
Pred, we got to talk about what went down in Texas Major 3 main stage. Pred going up against some Deddy. Round 11 in a game 5. Walk me through it.
That just sums up the Seattle versus FaZe matchup. It's a round 11. It's map 5. You know, there's 20 seconds left. We have to plant the bomb. My teammate dives towards the bomb. Simp ends up getting him. And as he's running back through bottom orange, I'm running to go get the trade on him. And the dead silence hip fire, man. I mean, he just shotgunned me away. And even in the moment when he got that kill on me, I just had nothing to say. I was mind blown. And I remember seeing him backstage, and I told him that I hated him. I told him that what he'd done to me was something that I'll never forget, and he just apologized. He knew what he'd done was wrong, and yeah, I mean, hopefully nothing like that ever happens again.
You guys were coming into that Major 5 qualifier. Everyone thought you were a shoo-in for champs. Now we're coming into the tournament. You're starting in the elimination bracket, and somehow Las Vegas has made a miraculous run and still has a shot of stealing 8th seed from you.
You know, we just had a rough start. You know, we just played very sloppy. We weren't making it easy on each other. We just came out, you know, just making a lot of mistakes, making it very hard for each other.
And now they have to sit back and watch and hope that someone can stop this Legion team. Up next will be New York.
You know, thankfully that my brother HyDra came in clutch, so he stepped up, and you know, he took down the Vegas Legion.
Well, Pred, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me today. It's been awesome revisiting the highlights of your career and talking about what you got coming up next.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me.
That is Pred, and Seattle Surge are here at Champs. Enjoy the show.
Alrighty, friends, welcome back to CDL Champs 2023 live from Las Vegas at the Thomas and Mack Center. We have been having a blast throughout our last few days, and the action only continues. I gotta get one of those shirts, by the way, Jay. I've been told they've been sold out all weekend long, but as we fly in for map number 3 of this series, right now we've got a neck-and-neck game between Seattle Surge and Atlanta FaZe. Jay Surge, they just iced up.
Yeah, they definitely iced up on the back of accuracy. Mr. Iceman to find the ace, the final round in that Search and Destroy. But now we're going into the map number 3, which is the only difference from the first time they played around. We talk about the maps and modes. It's not going to be a CeeLo. We're going to a hotel, and that's the reason that Atlanta FaZe decided to choose it, because they have been struggling in CeeLo so far this weekend. 1-9. 1-9 in round count. Obviously, they haven't had found success, so you want to switch it up. You're going to try to get a victory in this control, and you're going to get Seattle Surge on this hotel where they used to be one of the best teams, but it has been, as of recent, a 7 losing streak. Can they try to turn it around here?
Which is crazy, right? Because it feels like for the Seattle team with these 4 players, we saw how great they were on this game mode, like back in Vanguard.
Yep.
Like they were the early teams who were like winning attacking rounds. They had like the specialist type of plays going down over like on Tuscan. I don't know, it just feels like for Surge lately, it hasn't been great. But as we said, throw the stats out the window come champs time. These boys are ready to go, ready to fly and fry. And right now, Mack, the player to look at, trying to make a bit of his presence felt toward the back lines. Wonderful work as that zone continues to move.
And I love how Seattle Surge only have 1 player on the point. You have multiple players in towards Diner, but they're more focused on finding these kills and trying to hit that transition. But that's going to be the second take in. Sid cannot take down Cellium. Such a difficult gunfight, but his teammates are still here in this positioning. They should be able to close out A and extend this time. Just want to find a couple kills on your way out. Do not allow Atlanta FaZe to keep you in this trap.
That's exactly what they've got them in right now. We're ready for them to capture that objective. They knew exactly where they're going to spawn. Why? Because they had those 2 players on the bottom left side of the screen dictating the spawns. Cell end up finding Snake his heart out.
Wow.
Red. Oh, he can't find him. MC snaking his heart out already at 7-0. Eventually falls as Mack picks up for his fallen comrade. It is 8 kills between Sim and Mack. Accuracy and Pred still yet to get on the board.
That's just prime form right there out of Cellium to earn himself that cruise missile. You come off spawn, hip fire is gonna connect onto Mack. Now you're holding strong on your setup. You have Slasher push out towards bedroom. He wins his one-on-one versus accuracy. Now all of Seattle Surge spawning out towards kitchen. What's their play call? Do we decide to wrap back towards bed? Fight for that control. Do we go for the flank? It's looking like it's going to be super patient through the middle of the map. Mack takes down Slasher, and now they can apply the pressure through the front.
See what they can do with it. First player is already down. Pred, as we said, still yet to find a kill. You need him to really fly in and be a difference maker. We'll see if the rest of Surge can pick up from where he left off. As we said in that round 11, he was out of the play. It was the rest of the team that did the damage. Right now, everybody is getting picked apart. Simp doing what he can to find a few. And from there, Pred now looks to make the flank. 50 seconds on the clock. Still some time to work with, but those lives continue to drop. 10 left.
Oh, Atlanta FaZe is just filling all the right gaps. Coming off spawn, turning around, finding the timing on the player going for the flank. And so far, they have been able to wipe away 1 minute and 30. 9 lives remaining for Seattle Surge. Accuracy and Pred off to a slow start. This is going to be their final push. Mack going on the flank. If he can make something happen, try to get past Simp. At least try to finesse his way while his teammates apply the pressure through the front. That's exactly what you want to do, and he did just that. He gets that kill. His teammates apply the pressure. They stop the time.
All it takes is one kill. All it takes is one little wipe. Slasher a little late to the party. He eventually drops.
aBeZy falls too.
Who was behind enemy lines. He drops too. Here comes.
Oh my!
Everybody drops, and that could be the round. Pred sit forward. He'll eventually get taken down, but that zone continues to fly. 3 players are on it, and that very well is gonna be the round. MC over the top. They jump in. Oh my God! Atlanta have stolen it right back.
Cellium invests that cruise missile. He knows there's no way we should lose this defensive round with the way I've been able to slay so far. And that cruise missile does enough at the right time to take down 2, allow aBeZy to fly in and find the 3rd. At least at the break for Atlanta FaZe, it was at the nick of time, man. It was so close. So close, but once he gets those 2 kills, you see aBeZy, he's already ready to go. The go button has been pushed. Takes down accuracy. You have a player in Simp already at couches. They take care of Pred. They shut down that push. And would look to be a dominant defensive round for Atlanta FaZe. Seattle made them work for it.
They did. So it's a sweat off the brow type of moment for FaZe, but at the same time, that could be a bit of a momentum shift. I mean, kind of works both ways, but into round 2 we go. Bit of a frustrating one if you are Surge. You felt the round going your way. Confidence was there. After what was a very slow start from a few different players, accuracy and Pred, I know, continue to be the talking point. And speaking of turning up, right now aBeZy is looking to do it. Simp, he will drop as well. So great work from FaZe, and well, a better counter coming in from Simp.
Yeah, once aBeZy though, he finds those 2 kills, his teammates get off of that 8 point. They want to get beat out of the way, but Simp shuts it down. He finds 3 to now force Atlanta FaZe to hit that rotation back over towards A. First segment already going to be complete. Do Seattle Surge decide to apply that aggression, take them off of this point? It's looking like they're just going to play the exit kills. Atlanta FaZe are going to be able to extend this time.
Surge trying to play the long game, thinking about lives, and really few players start to make a bit of a dent. Pred has to be careful. They'll at least find 2, so I mean, it's trades in the end. Ultimately, we'll see if it makes that much of a difference come the later stages of this game, as we've got 2 more minutes to go. 1 extra tacked on after grabbing all 3 segments over at that A zone.
And Cellium was a huge one-on-one. The only player from Atlanta working his way behind enemy lines, trying to take bedroom control. He actually takes down 2, so you already have Simp in a position towards back spa. You're going to be able to at least block those close spawns. They're finding all the kills at the right time. They're going to be able to get on the point. That's 3 dead, make it all 4. Atlanta FaZe might have just got it done.
Yeah, that very well could be it. Slasher sent forward, trying to be a scout, trying to be a problem. He finds 1 kill. That better helps the chances right now from FaZe. Ends up finding that kill. 1 last player to jump on forward is Mack, and that is round number 2 done and dusted. Wonderful work. They're out of the boys in red.
All it took was 1 opportunity. You had all of Atlanta FaZe, at least 3 players pushing up through Shandy's side. The only guy that you cannot get two-piece by is the one that's working back through kitchen to take bedroom control. Once Cellium finds those 2 kills, his teammates now put themselves in a position to block those close spawns. All you need is one more set of one-on-one gunfights and the round was gonna be yours. They got it done. Atlanta FaZe 2-0.
And to think, we were just 1 round away from this maybe being the final round of this series is crazy to think about. As we said, Surge ice up in round 11 on aBeZy, but right now on Hotel, it is a totally different story. Downright dominance so far put on display from FaZe. But the expedition up the mountain, the journey from being down 0-2 starts here, and it starts now. Surge off to a wonderful beginning here in this 3rd round, looking to get those first few segments of A out of the way.
Just want to try to extend this time. Force Atlanta FaZe to hold strong at B again. It was just one little mistake that you had, and that was allowing Cellium to get that cruise missile. You can't do it here, but time is now going to get extended. Seattle Surge up by 1 life. Accuracy only sitting at 5 kills so far on the map, but he knows exactly where they are spawning. Going to apply the pressure through the back end. Pred also finds one on the flank.
So you got Surge, all 4 members up. Right now trying to form a bit of a conga line toward the back. We'll see if that teamwork can make the dream work. Excellent find there from Pred. He makes it 2. Both the SMGs wiped away, and the only player who was going to be near is player number 5 in Slasher. Going to try to cause a bit of a dent in the back line. Surge not aware at the moment of his position. We'll see if he can do anything. Job done for the first. Surge still locking up the time, locking up the segments. Cellium to save the day, and Simp to the rescue. Over the top they go, but in the midst of that team fight, Pred did earn a cruise missile.
Pred earns that cruise missile. So now you have that to work with. You're down in 0-2. This is definitely a round you got to invest in to stay alive. They're trying to fight for that bedroom control. Simp starts it off big one-on-one versus Simp. But you got to take down Slasher, because all it took was him to get 1 kill, allow his teammates to get back into the play, which led to the break. But all you need is 1, 2 to 3 deaths you can stack for 1 point. And all the kills go in favor of Atlanta FaZe. Slasher now finds himself on 5.
Pred trying to get things going, trying to reclaim some bedroom control. That was really the biggest problem for Surge. A Slasher also will earn a cruise missile, so we've got a few players with streaks in their back pocket. But it's really been the problem of getting FaZe out of this mid-map position. That's what it's all about when it comes down to attack on Hotel. Get players out of bedroom, and right now Surge are struggling to do it. And what they're going to rely on is this cruise missile. We've seen streaks be impactful previously. This time, nothing, at least information.
Yeah, the information is there, but not a single one of your teammates were in a position to at least play off of that information and earn themselves a kill. So now Atlanta FaZe, they change their positioning up. Slasher is still yet to die towards top bed until Mack takes care of him. But there's only 30 seconds left. Atlanta FaZe are still holding on. And now this might be the opportunity where Slasher invests that cruise, get the info for your teammates. Let's close it out here.
Simp, big kills in middle. Accuracy! Oh, he's knifed up! The Iceman has been cut away. And right now the time continues to evaporate. Atlanta, hello? Answering back, a few missed hit markers, but that will be game. Atlanta FaZe, angry after the round 11 S&D loss, come out here on Hotel and look phenomenal the entire way. And it's a smile there from aBeZy. He knows what they just did.
Yeah, he's looking at his teammates like, why the hell were we playing a CeeLo control the entire time? We're looking this good on the Hotel. You clutch up on your first defense. On your attacking side, all it took was one opportunity. You get a clean 4 dead, you go up 2-0. And then in that final round, it was just great plays from the AR. Cellium starts it off, but then the impact of the positioning out of Slash, just consistently stay alive in towards bedroom. He does it for so long. He only puts up 1,700 damage. He dies 8 times. Cellium dies 9 times. Those guys were playing their life down to the T. Atlanta FaZe dominate in the control.
Yeah, like I said, the only moment where it was, you know, wildly close was, of course, the streak that comes in from Cellium. You know, it just feels like for Surge, you just never really had an answer. We were talking at the start of this game how it was slow performances from Pred and accuracy. I think, what, Lamar only finishes off with like 5 kills in total. I don't know, like you're constantly finding yourself in difficult spots because of how great FaZe is slaying. And really in a moment like this, we're talking about Surge, how this is a team who can compete with Atlanta because of the Slayers that you have on the other side, because of that potential. I know accuracy's not the Slayer for Seattle, but you need a better effort from him and really all across the board.
And this has been an issue for Seattle Surge for quite some time, man. It's now 8 losses in a row on hotel control where they used to be the best team. And right there just simply tells me they don't got no ice. You're lacking in the slaying. And in these opportunities where you make something happen, just come down to these key one-on-one gunfights. They just were not able to win it. Now you find yourself down 2-1 in the series. You clutched up in the search and destroy. You're going into a map number 4, which is gonna be aBeZy. Atlanta FaZe are able to beat you 250 to 116. Super easy for Atlanta. And if you are Seattle Surge, it's just gotta be about those rotations. You win a couple rotations, your setup's gotta be better because it was way too easy for Atlanta FaZe to find success on those breaks on the last time they played aBeZy.
Without a doubt, map results here on some good old hotel control. You see it, I mean, 69 to 44 in overall slays. Not great from Surge, and as you said, buddy, last time these teams played, you gotta be better. You gotta be better in slaying. You gotta get those weapons hot flying in for what is gonna be a very interesting aBeZy hardpoint. But the chance, the opportunity here for FaZe to lock up Seattle here. I want to talk about predictions, right? Because that map 5, not trying to get ahead of ourselves, is Røkkr search and destroy. Maybe even throwing stats out of the window a little bit. Does it feel like FaZe might have to lock it up here? Like, I know overall we're talking about S&D, you know, on the year, but whatever it is, whether it's just been Seattle's history, maybe in moments like this, does it feel like this is a must-win maybe for both teams? Obviously for Seattle, but maybe for FaZe too, or no?
In my opinion, obviously for Seattle, must-win to stay alive.
Yeah.
If you are Atlanta FaZe, I don't really think it's a must-win because you're still the best S&D team in the game.
Yeah.
You lose that game number 2 all the way into round number 11 because accuracy finds 4. You're going into Røkkr search and destroy where we saw Seattle Surge play it. They did dominate on it, but you are the best team at that map.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the reason why I ask is just, you know, you're thinking about you're learning from your prior mistakes, and I don't know, you're looking at that Røkkr search and destroy. Obviously, it's one that Seattle just won for the first time, so there's that to consider. Just makes you question come champs time, like, you know, whether the stats do come into play at certain moments, but Surge in desperate need of some life, in desperate need of a bit of a fight. I'll tell you what, man, we're looking at a few of those players right now. My eyes, I think right now are on accuracy and Mack.
Yeah.
Those guys have got to turn up.
On a map like aBeZy, we saw this matchup before. It was Simp and accuracy who really struggled. Both basically went double negative, and Cellium and Slasher on the other hand went double positive. So the ARs are gonna put themselves in these power positions. You just gotta be the guy there early. Gotta be able to outslay Atlanta FaZe. You gotta be able to win these rotations. You gotta be able to find breaks. That P3 to P4 chain, you cannot allow Atlanta FaZe to do that again, because that's where they grew the lead the first go around. But Atlanta FaZe are attempting to close out the series in 4. Seattle Surge playing for their tournament life.
Seattle Surge, potentially their final map of the season. Backs against the wall. How do they respond? A chance for whoever wins this series, top 3. A matchup next, loser is headed home, top 4. But we know for both of these teams, the pedigree, what they expect to have is much higher than that. As we battle P1 already up and in, and really the first 30 seconds for the most part go unscathed.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe though, they're doing a great job of just keeping them off the time. Like Seattle Surge, they get the preferred side. Going in towards the P1, you want to at least get 10 to 15 seconds, but Atlanta FaZe, they're finding the kills. They're already able to flip those spawns. aBeZy, the route man, gonna climb the ladder, get the freebie on the accuracy. And this is exactly how you want to start this game, especially when you start off on the bad side.
Right to the plays we go. Bottom side of the map, of course, is going to be the focus now as we prepare for P2. Slasher off to a fantastic start. Thanos trying to come away with a massive dub here versus Seattle. One away from the cruise missile, gets a little bit of help there from the teammates. An unfortunate car bomb. His accuracy is still alive despite it. Pistol out for Slasher. He ends up getting taken down. Seattle rushing in from the front side. Cellium doing everything he can to try and stay up. It's the pinch there for Surge as they broke it for the moment, but it's explosives everywhere, Jay.
Oh my God, aBeZy. with the snap. Not able to find the final one onto Mack, but Seattle Surge have not been able to contest this hard point. Atlanta FaZe are setting up the pitches at the right time, finding the kills at the right time, and now you're gonna force Seattle Surge early off the rotation towards top AC. You have to get a hold to get yourself back into this game. You still have accuracy towards street side, trying to keep them off for this extra 15 seconds. But Atlanta FaZe doing exactly what they did in map number 1, coming out swinging.
And these are the big boys, right? These upcoming hard points are where you can lock up so much time. Last time that these teams faced off, this P3, this P4 was a problem for Surge. We talk so often about trying to learn from their mistakes. How will they handle it now? Cellium at least ends up finding one. Mack in his death will end up finding a nade kill, rushing in from the front. Now it's Simp who has to save the day. We continue to battle back and forth. 1v1s aplenty, as Accuracy doing everything he can to stay alive. He falls by a nade. Now it's Mack's opportunity to try and stay up. Surge with time, but barely.
Finally getting the hill. Shoot the trophy out of your face. Let's get this time, because we need it. Atlanta FaZe and Slashers throws that trophy up through the back alley, but doesn't matter. Seattle Surge still hold on. Atlanta FaZe cut their losses. They rotate over towards the next hill, which was the money hill last time around. Can they find that success again?
Right, another line on Simp. To scout out, try to find some information. Early picks would be huge. Wonderful work here from Simp. Trying to be clutch again. He eventually drops. So from there, now we begin to look at players like Pred to try to cause a bit of a difference. FaZe with plenty of members, plenty of bodies, but to Surge have the bullets. Pred off to a slow start, now is not going to have his SMG compadre in Mack. Teammates continue to drop. Pred just trying to stay alive and wait for reinforcements.
Yeah, he's waiting for his teammates to get into the play before he decides to strike. But Atlanta FaZe are playing all the corners. Mack flies in, he at least finds one, he finds two. It's all on Mack. He gets taken care of, and Cellium comes out on top in the trades. 25 seconds still remaining at this P4 hard point. You're going to force Seattle Surge to hit that early rotation over towards Kitchen. They're going to find themselves down by 60 with a great hold here. They can get themselves right back into this game. You just have to win this first set of fights. You can't be losing these gunfights off the rotation.
Definitely cannot. Tax put away. Vaznev's out. It's a Vaz's world as we fly in now for some good old fun at the kitchen. Mack with it, as we said, a player to look out for. He has been so solid at champs. He has put a lot of the doubters to sleep. And it looks like Surge starting to awake. Players finding kills pretty much on every side of the map. Multiple players on sprees as Pred looks to take down a few more. Can it be a triple? No.
And that's a beautiful setup right there from Seattle Surge. Atlanta FaZe have not yet get close towards this kitchen hill. The SMGs are starting to fire on all cylinders. Pred starts it off, but now it's Mack's turn. So far, 35 uncontested seconds to fight their way back into this game. Atlanta FaZe is going to go for a different approach. Let's try to take gas control. 2 players through the back, 1 through laundry. Can they clutch up on these fights? aBeZy and Slasher find 2, but it's still Mack.
Oh, Mack! Big Mack! Inside a kitchen has brought Surge right back in this hard point. It felt like disaster. It felt like worry. And Mack ends up going on a spree, a cruise missile that he's going to have in his back pocket. And we continue to go back and forth. First set of rotations done.
Basically a tie game. If you are Seattle Surge, it's more about winning these fights. You need those spawns for the next hill. Cannot allow Atlanta FaZe to chain it again towards that P2. So it was pretty easy on the setup. Simp and Pred though, they combine for 2. You still have Accuracy trying to stay alive. Great shots out of Slasher to take care of him. But it's still 102 to 97. Neither squad's fighting for this time.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw at the first set of rotations. It was like FaZe doing such a good job of keeping Surge off the time, but it really is a battle for the bottom side. Both teams aware, of course, of the objective, the money hill, about to be on board. Simp with wonderful kills through the mid-map. That is 3 very timely kills there from Atlanta, Jay.
And now they're going to have the advantage off the rotation. Only 5 seconds until the new hill pops. Simp in a great spot to at least take down a couple. He finds Pred, but right now Atlanta FaZe do not have street control. Accuracy wins a 1-on-1. You have Seattle all over the place. Back gas control, street control, but they do not lead to any kills. Atlanta FaZe find 3, and they're still holding on to P2 again.
aBeZy right now at 17 and 9. He is frying, but right now it's going to be off of respawn. Surge with a bit of a window. We'll see if they can finally hop inside of the point. Every time they've had a look at it, it has been 3-4 players down. Right now, they've got man count advantage, looking to take MC out of the power position, and there you go. 3 kills go their way, and it's currently leading to 30 seconds on the objective. And Jay, take a look at number 4 on the map.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, I don't know what they're doing. There's only 20 seconds left on this hill. You want to try to rotate towards top AC. And if you don't find these kills, it's going to come back to bite you. But Cellium and aBeZy, they take down 2. They were able to flip those spawns. Now they're going to apply the pressure through gas side. Seattle Surge are going to be the team off the rotation, but aggreSY has yet to earn himself those cruise missile. Here comes the nades. Slasher finds 2. This is looking like another Atlanta FaZe break.
FaZe very well may have bought themselves right back in this hard point. Big 1v1, and it's Simp who ends up taking down Pred. That is massive right now in the landscape of the game. Thankfully, for Surge, you found a few kills in stride, so it now allows for you to make your rush up through middle. And into it they go, battling back and forth. It's 3 now going Surge's way. Trophies down, who cares about him? It's all about the gun skill. Another 1v1 that goes his FaZe direction. 150 to 115. aCuRacy, pistol whipping.
aCuRacy finds 2, but it doesn't lead to time. And Slasher with the nade also takes down Pred. So Atlanta FaZe do great at top AC, and now winning those key gunfights, they already put themselves in position to win the rotation over towards next. We talked about the P3 to P4 chain, and Atlanta FaZe might have just done it to give themselves a nice little lead.
Yeah, Jay, this is where the game, this is where the series could quickly come to a close. Atlanta FaZe, a solid hill here. Very well put Surge out of the running. But what can they do? It's a matter of a retake. It's a matter of finding kills in stride. Can they make it happen? The AR's doing what they can. Another big 1v1. This time it's Pred who comes out on top. MC trying to find him. Now on 5 in a row, MC having himself a day. Earns the cruise before he hits the dust as Surge breaking again.
They break in with at least 30 seconds. This is some much needed time. And if you are Atlanta FaZe, you will take this. You didn't have any success at the Kitchen Hill. Couldn't find any breaks, but this time you're going to be deterred early off the rotation. Gonna have aBeZy through back alley. He doesn't find a kill, so Sid, he's gonna work his way in towards the kitchen. He does find a trade, but now it falls into the hands of Mack. His teammates are nowhere near him. He just has to stay alive until the right time.
This is where Mack went off last time. Can he do it again? Ends up finding 2. Mackenzie ends up finding a double. He is taking down everybody almost single-handedly. Oh, but he's actually going to set up his teammates in that situation. Ends up falling eventually, but it's an assist at the end. Surge, they've had to make 2 huge breaks in these last hard points, and they've been able to do it. Welcome back to the game, Seattle. We have ourselves a game now, Jay.
Mackenzie melts. He's doing everything he can to keep his team alive in this game. Sid finds 2, a teammate. Unfortunate right there from aCuRacy, but it's only Cellium here. It's only Cellium here. Pred knows he's one shot. Let's commit towards taking him down, and Cellium gets it done. That's now 3 dead. It's only aCuRacy in towards the kitchen, and would look like to be a great hole from Seattle Surge. Atlanta FaZe find the break, and they're gonna take the lead right on back.
And that is why we love this matchup, because of the slaying talent. Really one situation, one mistake, and both of these teams can make the other pay. It is going to be, what, a 6-point game as we fly in now for the 3rd side of rotations. Right now, Seattle fighting for their life. Atlanta FaZe trying to lock up this series right here and right now. How will it go down as FaZe find 4?
That's 4 dash, so now you know if you are Atlanta FaZe, we know exactly where they're spawning. We can get some time off of this P1. Sib was a huge one-on-one to get top match control. Stuns and nades hit off the wall. Sib gets one with the tack. But it's still Atlanta FaZe finding the kills at the right time. Slasher is 30 and 22. Thanos, the Liddy go. He's coming to play. Atlanta breach that 200-point mark.
Do indeed, and continuing to lock down points.
Oh,
Sal, are you serious? My God, what a transfer as you've got both ARs frying right now. Panic starting to set in quickly here for Seattle as they've got to do the impossible yet again. 2 players past that 50-yard line. It's player 3, it's player 4. What can Mack and Pred do as now it's all on to the Aussie? Ends up finding 1 in stride. Time currently vacant.
And right now, if you are Seattle Surge, at least you have gas control. You don't have street, but you're not finding any of the kills. Atlanta FaZe clutch up again. Another clean 4 dead. You have 2 cruise missiles to work with. Simp now finds himself on 5. They're trying to close out the game right now.
And here comes Mack. You can see they're trying to prepare for new. Does not find anything at all with that cruise missile. And so the time will continue to build. Atlanta can technically walk away with it here. aBeZy again. All 4 hit the deck. And that could be series. Surge, a mad dash to the hard point. But they've got to go through every single player. Down they go. FaZe win it. FaZe say not today. Not here at Champ Seattle. You've had the magic before. But this is when the lights are the brightest. Atlanta FaZe stay alive with hopes to maybe make it to that Champs Grand Final again. As they'll walk away with it in 4 and put Surge, put their season to a close.
Atlanta FaZe just came into play in all the respawns. Map number 1 was very tight. Seattle Surge are trying to bring the comeback, but Atlanta FaZe had the ice towards the very end. They do lose the search and destroy. Weren't expecting that to happen. But you get a CeeLo out of the rotation. You add Hotel. First time you played it all weekend. And that's going to be something they continue to play going forward. A clean 3-0 was the deciding factor for me against Seattle Surge. They were on a 7-loss streak on that map, make it 8 now. Their season officially coming to an end. Atlanta FaZe, again, trying to move to another championship Sunday at COD Champs. They close out the series in 3-1 and now secure top 3.
Potentially the final time that we see this Seattle Surge roster. They've been together throughout Vanguard, throughout this year, and maybe is Atlanta FaZe who drops them. What really put Surge on the map? What put this team on the map? Now, maybe puts them to bed. Atlanta FaZe, a massive W. And Jay, we talked about it, right? Coming into this series, we've known the history, right? It's been Surge coming away with these crazy dubs. But that has not been the case this season. No. It has not been the case this season. It has been dominance pretty much all year from Atlanta. And they showed us that again here on the brightest stage.
The AR is just completely outclassed inside of Seattle Surge, man. That's now 8 series in a row. Accuracy still probably sitting at a 0.7. Yeah. And Cellium, he's a very difficult kill. Slasher, he's been playing outstanding so far this weekend. They were just a team that was ready to go.
Absolutely. How do you feel about FaZe after that series, now moving into the next one?
Feeling good, man. They got a rematch versus New York. They just got to win an S&D.
That's going to be crazy. That's going to be electric. That's going to do it for myself and Jay here for Champs all season long, buddy. Another one in the books. Oh boy, it's going to be a fun way to see how Champs winds out as we toss it over to the desk now. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Las Vegas. Put your hands together for Atlanta FaZe. And of course, our casters, Lando and Studdy, getting better every single cast this season. And what a way to end it. Tight matches all the way through this 4-game series. And at the end of it, Seattle is now finally ended. We see the road continue for Atlanta, and we have 300 racks up in that bank now. Allie, let's take a look at how the prize pool is breaking out so far.
Yeah, another 100 racks in the save for Atlanta FaZe, as if they needed it, right? But at the end of the day, they are just trying to get that ring, right? They're trying to make it to tomorrow, and they have a really tough matchup ahead against them. The New York Subliners, who beat them 4-3 at major number 5 for that win. So we have a banger of a matchup to round out the day.
And you can see there on the sheet, LA Thieves are 2022 world champions out. OpTic Texas, the number 2 seed, out. Atlanta FaZe, New York, Toronto, the 3 teams remaining. And we got to take a look back at how Atlanta secured their spot with another win in Hardpoint. Multi-kills all over the place in this series, Clay.
Yeah, honestly, they just were frying from start to finish. I did see a little bit of life come out of Seattle on the map too. But when we're going into this map 4, what really stuck out to me, especially in the stat screen, was the amount of untraded kills that FaZe had. I believe it was 28, 21, 23, and 25 untraded. When you have that many untraded kills, it is going to be so difficult to break the hill, to hold a hill, to do anything on the map.
Yeah, I think obviously in the slaying department you needed more efforts out of Pred and accuracy. Accuracy had really bad games 3 and 4 after that wonderful ace that he had in game 2. But you know, also throughout this map, both P3s, Seattle was there early and FaZe is able to make it scrappy, and then on the next one, FaZe gets the majority of the time. Those types of situations in a match that's this close, that is the difference. That last P1 as well, you have to fight for top. You need an SMG and an AR to try to get up top PD. That way you can clear it out and make sure FaZe doesn't pick up that much time on the P1. That is the difference. It's those little things. And they did it wrong, man. FaZe is able to run away with it. Last thing I'd like to say about FaZe is, man, MacArthur. MacArthur is that unbelievable.
Cellium, huh?
Yeah, Cellium is that guy. That game 3, that streak that he used at the very end, right then we knew he was going to have himself one.
I don't think I've seen Cellium drop below 1.5 on the tournament. Ridiculous numbers from the AR, but Slasher right there with him in that control. You saw him in the hard points as well. FaZe starting to heat up when they need it most, Allie.
Yeah. Atlanta FaZe, I mean, for me, it's the respawns for them right now. They were struggling in control this weekend. For them to now have that confidence in that hotel in that map number 3, they should feel great moving into this next matchup.
We got our scuff play of the game. Let's take a look at this baby one more time as Atlanta locks up their spot. They send Seattle Surge packing, and it's Cellium. The performance here towards the very end of the first hard point. The team clutching up.
Yeah, also, I mean, Cellium was going big, but aBeZy's 3-piece here was massive. They just flood through the gate. He finds 3 kills, and from then on out, it's over. They only have 3 people here as well. Simp had died on that rotation. I think Seattle killed him twice, actually, and they still can't break in because aBeZy's shot is just too clean. And then you see Cellium in the front on the heady, easy.
If you're going to flood through the gate, why are we going 1 by 1? We are at COD champs. Why are we not all going together? Everybody, group, hit the gate together 1 by 1 into aBeZy's pre-aim. Like, that's the easiest 3-piece he's going to get.
Small mistakes costed Seattle big. They lost that game number 1. The control could have been there. Some clutch missiles coming down. Cellium and crew clutching up as Atlanta FaZe gets the W. But let's recap all the games on the day, because coming up, we have match number 5. But 4 matches happened before that, and at the start of the day, we saw Seattle have to take on OpTic first. Allie, walk us through that first battle.
Absolutely. I mean, it was that first opening Mercado, we definitely thought maybe favored Seattle a little bit, but Texas chaining those ending 3 hills. They had 89 uncontested points. It was 163 to 163, and Texas were just making the perfect fundamentals look easy. But then we move into that Fortress Search Destroy, and Seattle Surge was able to win a second one on a day, and let me just say, very, very convincingly so.
Yeah, we didn't see much out of Shotzzy in terms of Search and Destroy this weekend, right? Like, he's the guy that usually is getting lost.
Down.
Yeah, making plays, finding first bloods, but in that Fortress, they were able to shut him down, and that's a map that Seattle has been very strong on. You remember back at the beginning of the season, they couldn't buy a Fortress S&D win, so obviously they get that map victory, and then they go ahead and they lose the control, which sets them up for now Bagro, where your old teammate, Clay, he went massive Mack 32 bomb on that Fortress.
I love to see Mack do well, and it stinks that they didn't get the placement they wanted, but I think they went a lot further as the 8th seed than a lot of people predicted them to. OpTic bowing out again early at champs. Do we talk about OpTic going silent at champs? Is that a narrative we can talk about yet?
Yeah, I think I've seen it enough over the last 10 years.
It's happened a lot, man.
OpTic is out, the number 2 seed out of the running, but number 1 stays alive. Atlanta FaZe knocked to the elimination bracket by Toronto last night. Today, they matched up against Boston Breach this morning, and Breach, we mentioned it, 3 rookies playing at their champs. Kremp, Snoopy, and Beans all having a pretty solid day, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I know that map 1 was insane by Atlanta. I mean, it was just masterclass, but the fact that Boston almost pushed it to a game number 5, like you said, Chris, with 3 rookies on the roster, very minimal practice, throwing in a player right before we head into this weekend. You know, it's just some small rookie mistakes that maybe have cost them possibly making to that game number 5. But Atlanta, again, I think their respawn has been incredible this weekend, and I think they need to keep it up.
I will say, I think Wake's been a beast all season.
Yeah.
But he went silent this series. Like, he needs a veteran behind him, sort of guiding him, teaching him, and getting him to that next level. When you talk about that Mercado, also at the end there, they could have won that. That simply comes down to experience in my mind.
So you think they need a vet? Somebody who maybe has like 3 rings or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, you know what?
Maybe some circular glasses right now.
Maybe over the age of 30.
Hey, Boston, I know a guy. That is a look at the finish here from Atlanta FaZe as they seal the deal in game number 4. Toronto versus New York. We thought it was going to be a 5-game banger. Instead, Toronto taking control. Some tight games along the way, but Ultra sweeping the Subliners to lock up our first spot in the championship.
Man, we talk about silence. I ain't heard nothing from New York since then from this series. I mean, this was our winners finals. We hadn't seen a 3-0 all weekend, and we see it get handed to our 2-time chips on the season, New York Subliners. They have to go in with a fiery in the final of this matchup.
Quay, I want to get your thoughts on Scrapz trash talk at the end of the match. He said, you shut down HyDra, this team is ass.
I mean, we really need to talk about it. If their game plan is to shut down HyDra, the other 3 on the Subliners have to step up. Skyz, KiSMET, Priestahh, if HyDra's not having an MVP performance, they have to step up. It's cut chance, they only have 1 more chance.
1 more chance. Insane tournament already, and I can't believe we're coming towards the end of day number 3. If you are just tuning in, this is the end of a Super Saturday where we are bringing a record 5 matches your way on the day. The 5th one, it's the biggest as we find out who is going to join Toronto in the championship match. There's just 2 juggernauts left in this elimination bracket. Subliners now going toe-to-toe against Atlanta FaZe. Nameless, this is one we were talking about in the green room.
Yes.
Everyone was hoping to see this matchup.
Listen, this series went to game 7 last time. New York took 3 search and destroys off Atlanta FaZe. They're looking to do it again. I think this goes all the way to game 5.
I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the chat. Get your channel points ready because we are in Vegas, baby. Put it all on the line as we find out who's moving forward. Atlanta, New York, coming up next.
Hello, my name is Miles Ross, and I am here to put a lie detector test on Skyz of the New York Subliners.
Like I'm swimming?
You ever done this before?
No.
It's telling me about your bad body language. This is reading a lot.
My bad body language?
I can see your breath jitter, how your skin's galvanizing. I mean, it's telling me your pulse. It's telling me a lot.
Am I nervous?
I don't know.
Does it look like I'm nervous?
It doesn't look like
Why am I nervous? I'm nervous low-key for no reason.
Well, that's fine. Let's get this on the road. Is your full name Caesar Skyz Bueno?
No. Skyz is not my legal name.
Are you a professional COD player?
Yes, I am a professional COD player.
Are you about to take a polygraph test?
Yeah, what is that? This, yeah.